You see the Snapchat yet?
Yeah, I'm
I
waiting.
did.
What'd you
What do you
think?
think?
I think you should wear camo all the time.
What?
What?
Bro, are you judging it? Because I literally got it because it was like an REI kind of clearance sale, and those
I
shoes were
can't believe this.
25% off. I'm just
25.
saying.
How much were they?
Now that's value.
They started at 80, and I think, or maybe 90. I don't know. I paid like $68 for them.
Oh, no, not bad. Oh, did you get the La Sportiva, the
Yeah,
tarantula lace climbing shoes? Okay.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Those seems
See,
fine.
I
Seems
mean,
fine.
I feel like it's one of those things where like if you're just starting and like you're not like you don't want to make a huge financial investment because like what if you like don't really get into it
You
like your
mean you
first
don't want to make a huge financial investment?
Invest. But see, now you're gonna be like, man, I wish I got better shoes because you're going to get into it.
Yeah, man.
uh yeah, this is the reverse logic of how I operate. I feel like you should first make an initial investment to try things out, and then if you're like, I don't know, if you get super into it, you're like, okay, I actually do this. Let's get like an actual nice pair of climbing shoes.
Teva, I can't believe that once on this pod you were like, you guys talk about climbing too much. We talk about climbing every
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
And the last times we've brought up climbing, it's been you.
Me?
It's been you.
No.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
There was one time
He's
we were
right.
talking and I offhandedly mentioned climbing and we went, "How is climbing going, by the way?"
I, oh, so it's a sin to care how my friends are doing. Like,
I,
yeah, how's your life?
I don't know.
I know it's important to you. I want to interact. I want to
All
engage.
right, all right, okay.
Yeah, no, and it's like one of those things where again, I know enough people, and I know people here who I can like climb with that it's like, yeah, I'm down to get into it. I don't know if it's like super for me, but I
Hmm.
think it's like one of those things where it's like it's a hobby that is like fun enough to do with friends that I'm willing to make like a small investment initially. And I think it's also a hobby that as you get better at it becomes like more and more fun.
Speaking of getting into it, let's
Oh
steer
my god.
ourselves away from this conversation before it becomes another climbing app. Uh,
Yeah.
so we had some homework.
Yes, we did. And I actually wanted to talk about the homework.
Mhm.
What is this website you linked us?
Website I linked you.
Yeah, astrology.com.tr. This
Did I
is
like link something incorrectly?
no, you linked it. It exists, but
Hmm.
like the link you sent takes us straight to this birth chart page.
Yeah.
This is the most intrusive website I've ever seen.
Go
It,
on.
it
Is it the star chart shit? Because that was awful.
it's the birth chart shit. Yeah, it okay. So
I don't know what
like
the fuck I'm looking at.
so obviously it wants your birthday because that
Yeah.
will determine your astrology sign.
Yes.
It also wants the fucking time of birth
Mhm.
because that affect like I don't know, maybe you understand this better now because you're like an expert. This affects like your rising moon star
Yeah.
Capricorn like
Yeah. It's relevant.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that I have heard and seen before where it's like, okay, you need to know the time of your birth and like that matters.
Mhm.
Then it wants your country and literal city of birth.
Yeah. No,
What do you
that
mean?
is
Yeah.
also relevant. It's all based around stars, Teva. Depending on where you are, you're gonna see different stars.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like no matter where you're born, if you're born in like a certain period of like August, you're a Leo. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's your sun sign.
Are you sure it's the sun sign, Luke? You sure it's
Yeah.
not your moon sign or your
No,
star
no,
sign?
it's not your moon sign. Rising is determined by location of birth and time, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like the way you said that made it feel like you were reading off of like a website and then you added the like I'm pretty sure to like
Okay,
cover your
I mean,
tracks.
moon could also be determined by this. I'm not sure. See, we need someone else who's into astrology to help us with this,
The problem is
unfortunately, and
we're
none of us are.
we're all such good
So,
judge of characters that we have no friends who are very into astrology. At least I don't.
right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
all
just
I
kidding.
know is that there's some parts of astrology, some of your signs that are tied to your location and time of birth because that will relate to phases of the moon and what stars are over you when you're born.
Yeah.
I also know that these are great things a website can ask of you to mine information.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Advertisers,
Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like if like with all that information, I feel like you know so much about a person. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it
definitely.
like really narrows it down.
It felt a little intrusive to fill that out on a website.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. So I didn't. But that's actually like I did do it, and then the information it like spat out of me. It was like I felt like I was doing math because it was like your fucking 10th sign is Sagittarius at 0.25 degrees and like 22 north and 35 west. And I'm like, what does any of this mean? Like, I don't understand.
See, there's casual astrology and then there's ranked.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like this was a ranked astrology where I'm like, wait, guys, I don't know the meta. I don't know what any of these items are.
Dude, did you hear about the Leo debuff?
Yeah, like, are Leos good this patch? Or like...
I mean, no matter what, it will affect the matchmaking.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's actually, I remember I was talking with a friend recently, and there was this Reddit post basically saying, like, the frequency of, like, birthdays in the US. And, like, it made me feel so much less special, because apparently August and September are, like, birthday hotspots.
Suckers.
Told you, we have, like, I think in my one group, my hiring group, or my zone, we have, like, 6 Virgos. Because we're all September babies.
Yeah. I'm very unfortunate that September and August are just so popular. And then you work your way back and it's like 9 months before that. Oh, everyone's having fucking holiday sex. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Those holidays go hard, dude.
That'll do it. Yeah, evidently. So yeah, with that, maybe we should get into the nitty-gritty of our sun signs.
Yes.
I still don't know how the fuck to do any of that shit.
I mean, well...
Did you do the homework?
I did do the homework.
Okay.
That was great.
I still look at it, I go like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah, well, so the website, this astrology.com.tr kind of confused me. So I just went to astrology.com, which is also confusing, but in a different way.
Right.
And I don't know, I feel like maybe we should just like go around, be like, hi, my name is Teva, I'm a Leo, do like the introduction thing.
Sure.
Say a bit about our sign.
And what classes you're taking this quarter?
Yeah.
What your major is?
What year are you? What major are you? Yeah, a fun fact about you.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first because I mean I'm such a Leo. It's just we love to be the center of attention. Apparently. Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Teva. I'm a Leo. Obviously, I didn't have to say that, but I'm just gonna read the description or parts of the description from astrology.com. So Leo's the 5th sign of the zodiac. These folks are impossible to miss because they love being center stage. Making an impression is job number 1 for Leos. Let's see. Leos are an ambitious lot, and their strength of purpose allows them to accomplish a great deal. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, like, the general stereotype I get from Leos is they're very, like, center of attention-y. They're, like, creative and, like, charismatic. And it's just basically, like, take everything people would stereotype about a lion or the sun, and they just made that the personality. Like, I remember reading in some places that, like, oh, yeah, Leo, like, represents the sun. I'm like, cool. For sure. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. So much of these descriptions are like very like, I don't know, like masturbatory in nature. They're like, Leos are supremely talented and have a flair for the dramatic. It's like, wow, dude, I love being a Leo.
Anyway, Teva, what's your body part according to your chart?
What? Oh, the heart.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
The heart.
Wow. I got a good one.
Wow.
I feel like
that is a pretty good one. You want to know what I got?
No. The spleen. I don't know.
Famous rock band, The Shins.
I see.
Wait, that's so uneven. I can't believe they gave some people like, oh yeah, you get the heart or the brain or like something cool, and it's like you take the shins.
What's your mantra?
Ooh, I will.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
like that.
what's yours?
I know.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, it is kind of sick.
Yeah.
Like that's just your mantra. Wait, where are you finding all
Okay, here.
this?
Let me link you. I'll link you the sign for the Virgo. It's just literally astrology.com.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's funny because my mic picks up like all my like clicking and background noise, so it's like they will probably hear me like clicking and scrolling. What?
That's fucked. That's fucked.
Bro, it's calling you out.
I'm actually
Oh
getting
my
attacked by
God.
astrology.com. That's fucked.
This is so funny.
That is funny.
I'm in this picture and I
don't-
don't like it.
Dude.
I
Yeah.
was just
Oh.
saying you have IBS, you bitch, and just throw
Yeah.
me in the corner.
Yeah.
Body
I-
part, the digestive system. Love that for you.
That is so funny. That's actually kind of sick because that's a lot of stuff. There's like so much stuff in the digestive system.
Yeah,
Like,
and it emphasizes your
colon.
gut instinct.
Is my colon part of that?
Yeah,
It's actually,
I
I
don't
assume
know.
it is.
it is. It is. I'm a scientist. Trust me. But like they could have just given you the large intestine, but no, they gave it all to you. The whole digestive system.
Do you want to read your description, Eric?
Yeah.
After I'm done shooting my potatoes.
All right. Should I go then?
Yeah.
Go.
You go.
Okay, I can just somehow I have two paragraphs. This is a lot of information. I'll just skip to the second one.
Okay. Yeah.
Aquarians are visionaries, progressive souls who love to spend time thinking about how things can be better. They are also quick to engage with others in this process, which is why they have so many friends and acquaintances. Making the world a better place is a collaborative effort for Aquarians.
Wow. Is
Yeah.
that you, Luke? Does that ring true for you?
I mean, it's saying I'd like to make the world a better place. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who wants to make the world worse.
I actually
Sounds
kind
like
of want to
something
make
an
it
Aquarius
shittier.
would say.
One step at a time.
Humanitarian, philanthropic, and keenly interested in making the world a better place.
Wow. At least they're consistent.
How
with
honorable.
This. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, do you feel like you're a very thoughtful person, Luke? Does the mantra "I know" speak to you?
Well, I mean, it also, I feel like saying "I know" as your mantra may not exactly be the most thoughtful thing.
That's
You
actually
know,
a really good
You
point.
don't know.
Over and over and over again,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah, it's not really what you think about things. You don't think about
Very
things
dismissive,
you know.
actually.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird that Aquarius is a wind sign and not a water sign.
Yeah, because like you think about an aquarium and you just
Yeah,
2 and 2.
exactly.
Wait, what's the symbol for Aquarius?
It's literally.
God, I hope it's just aquarium.
Is it the?
Oh my
the
God.
Water, the pitcher?
It literally
Right?
says, yeah, it is the pitcher. So the symbol is the water bearer, but it's an air
Yeah.
side.
I know.
Uh-huh.
That's so weird.
Hard science, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like what I've read about like Aquariuses and like the stereotypes is like they're very like they like associate them with being like very like aloof or like cold or like very like intellectual.
Do you think I'm aloof, cold, and intellectual, guys?
I think you're at least one of those three.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Like, one of those might be true.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's your guess which one. Take your pick.
Aloof.
Honestly, some of the time maybe, but I feel like
Yeah.
actually no. The more I think about it, like none of them.
Hey, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would at least liked intellectual.
whoa, hey, whoa.
That's such a Leo thing for you to say.
It is, dude. Oh, well, it's funny because since I'm so charismatic, I can like get away with it. Haha.
So what are you guys' moon signs?
What? How do I figure that out?
It should have said on your chart.
I deleted my chart. I don't know.
I can't believe this.
I think my
Uh,
moon
the-
sign is
the-
either a Scorpio. It might be Scorpio.
It literally says in your birth chart, like in the text part, it says sun, moon, ascendant, rising, and then median, whatever that is.
Whatever
yeah.
that means.
My moon is Libra. And I understand the implications of that entirely.
My moon is Gemini. That's because I'm so two-faced.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Literally
Yeah.
just a walking stereotype for fucking the
Hold
astrology
on.
symbols.
Gemini. What's Gemini's mantra? Ooh.
Ooh, what is it?
Ooh. I think.
Wow.
These are all so
Therefore-
bad.
You get multiple body parts? That's not fair.
Wait, what? Oh, that makes
You
sense.
You
Well,
get
there's two of them.
arms, hands, and lungs as a Gemini.
What?
Arms,
Yeah.
hand. What? Arms and hands, I could
What
see.
yeah, lung?
I feel like I've been robbed of at least 2 body parts.
I feel like they just
Shh.
took all the parts with bilateral symmetry, and they're like, yes, because you're two people, so you get the things that are the same.
Yeah, but shins are bilaterally symmetrical,
Oh
Right.
yeah,
right?
You do get 2 of them.
I
My
still,
shins don't look weird. Do the
Why?
shins match, right, guys?
why the fuck did they give Aquarius the shins?
I don't know, man.
What does it
Actually
even
so funny to me.
mean? Have you found anything that describes why that's even like stated
I
the way
mean,
it
to be
is?
fair, I haven't done a lot of research.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to look.
So I
through
have
it.
to come clean. I was
Yeah.
wrong about my signs last time.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I guess maybe I just input my time of birth or
Okay.
location incorrectly. Maybe I put in the wrong like city or something.
Maybe the stars
But-
moved.
Yeah, dude, the stars have moved since last time.
Yeah.
But one of my coworkers listening to the last episode was like, hold on, where's the text? They're like,
Ooh, gotta pull up the receipts.
you just said you had a Leo moon and a Capricorn rising. I'm also a Capricorn rising, and that's the reason we are so competitive. I'm so sorry. I'm not a Capricorn rising anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You
basically-
switched.
I did switch. I'm now a Cancer
Oh, rising. I hope.
rising. Yeah.
Upon this world.
Yeah. Finish the sentence, man.
Yeah, I am a Cancer rising. Whoa, yo, I get the stomach, brain, and breasts.
Oh fuck.
Wow, the golden trifecta: the stomach, brains, and breast. I feel like that's just Aphrodite. Like that's like some Greek god who has control
just,
over
like,
those three.
Lust and like everything good in
Yeah,
the world.
That's fucking
Cancers are
hype.
maternal, domestic, and love to nurture others. Okay,
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll take that.
sure,
bet.
sure. Okay.
Dude,
Um,
I want to ask a question, which is, I tried looking into this. Like, were you able to easily find your time of birth? I feel like who knows this?
It was on my birth certificate.
I texted my mother and asked, "Hey mother, when was I born? What time was it?"
Did she
So it
know?
was easy.
That's crazy. I feel like my
You
parents
asked
were
your
just
mom?
like, I don't know, probably sometime around this. I don't know. Like they want it like so precise, and I'm like, I don't have it.
Yeah, man.
No,
I
the fact
mean,
that they give like minutes and seconds is pretty
It's
insane,
important.
actually.
it's important.
Imagine
It
being,
could completely change you as a person.
yeah, being born on the 58th second versus the 59th second. Whole different ball game.
Okay, so I mean, my moon sign. I didn't mention that yet. I'm a Sagittarius moon.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about because now, in addition to having the shins, I have the hips and thighs
Wait.
and the liver.
The liver.
Yes.
Isn't that part of the digestive system?
Not anymore.
Maybe not. Maybe not directly.
It's the most functional.
I feel like it's very
out of us
tangential.
with our signs.
Is that how
Is
that
it what?
works? Wait, what were you
I
gonna
don't
say?
know. I don't have arms or hands. I'm just a stomach, brain, breasts, hips, thighs, and liver and chins.
Wow, honestly, you're already sounding like the ideal human. Wow, you're all I need.
Dude,
Okay,
Like
so
the fucked up version of like shoulders, heads, knees, and toes.
oh my god, yeah, it's like a bad nursery rhyme. Okay, so let me see. I don't know if this is correct because I don't have my actual exact time and date of birth, but for now, I'm gonna say I'm a Gemini moon and a Scorpio rising, which makes sense because I have that Scorpion sting, you know.
Isn't that a book?
Mhm.
What, a Scorpio rising or? Oh, there was this book that was like House of the Scorpion, but I don't know if that's what you're thinking of.
Oh no, it's an Alex Rider book, Scorpio Rising.
Oh, Scorpio.
It's the
Oh.
ninth novel in the Alex Rider series.
Dude, I'm glad I got Scorpio.
Or
because
memories unlocked.
I've acquired some powerful body parts. I now also, in addition to having a heart, I have the genitals and the bowels.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wait, who provides that?
The Scorpio. Scorpio
Wow.
provides your genitals and your bowels. I can
Eric,
piss
I
and
think
poop.
having seen other people's parts at this point, I think Eric, you're just the large and small intestine because someone else got the stomach, right?
I think you had the
And I have
stomach.
the liver. Yeah, I have the stomach and the liver, so you're just the
What is the digestive
Just
system?
everything else.
who?
You have the gallbladder.
Okay, what was my moon? I was Libra. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, you
the
also-
lower back and kidneys.
Just only the lower back. They didn't give you the whole back.
Having the kidneys
Just the
makes
lower.
so much sense.
Wait.
Oh no!
Eric's body parts are definitely calling him out.
Yeah, they are.
Oh Christ!
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Poor
that
soul.
explains all the severe back pain too.
Dude,
This is fantastic.
I do think the mantra of Libra is so funny. It's just I relate.
Dude, Libra just walking around saying mood
Mood.
at everything. Dude,
Damn,
saying
bro, that's
mood.
crazy.
Dude, I do say that a lot.
Oh, a lot
Yeah.
of people
No.
You
do.
just gotta start
Oh
saying I relate.
no. Facts.
Dude, Cancer's mantra is I feel.
Oh wow.
Dude, I feel that.
I feel that, man. I
Yeah.
feel.
That is felt.
What's the most relatable astrology sign?
Let's see. What are my others?
What, do you know
Cancer,
what your
Pisces.
rising was? You know?
Rising is Cancer.
Oh, that's why we're such good
So you-
friends.
so you- no.
Dude, you also
Ah.
have the stomach.
Dude.
You have
Damn, that's crazy.
Oh
It
no.
makes sense.
I'm actually just a single personality trait. And it's just like my stomach and shit,
Yeah.
dude.
It's literally just eating and then producing waste.
I'm kind of okay with that. I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a vibe.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
mood.
I feel like I kind of relate to some of this. Being like loving to nurture others as a Cancer.
Well, you're not a Cancer. You're an
Yeah, we're
Aquarius.
Cancer rising.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
You know what like the rising like means for you? It's not the same as it being your sun. You don't get three
Wait,
sun
what
signs.
does the rising mean?
I don't
Hold on.
know.
Rising ascendant sign is your outer self. See, this makes so much sense. It's the self we show to others, which is
yeah.
like, you know, helping other people.
Oh yeah, that's all
It's
fake as
self-image.
fuck.
Hey, come on, man. You're the one who's a Gemini.
No, that's my moon sign.
Yeah, that is your inner self.
Yeah, that's what, oh, my emotions, my moods. Oh, I'm so
Wait, so
conflicted
what is-
internally.
What does the sun mean then, if that's the
It's
case?
your core self.
It's
It's
your
your center.
ego, your identity,
Yeah.
your role
id.
in life. Yeah,
I
your
see.
id, the core of who you are.
Yeah, obviously, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's like the sun.
Yeah, factually correct as well.
Okay, yeah.
As always.
So the rising is like your mass. Yeah, so I'm like a scorpion. Like I got that sting on the outside, but once you get to know me deep down, like I'm so conflicted because I'm a Gemini.
Mm.
This makes no sense.
So what the hell is the medium quaily?
I don't know.
I think that's you should probably get that checked out by a doctor.
Okay, so
Uh,
do you guys feel like you resonate with parts of your
Oh, you know what?
your,
I didn't
astrology,
read
your
the
signs?
Virgo yet.
Yeah.
You
Hold
read
on,
your-
let's-
oh,
let me
Yeah,
read
oh,
that.
you're right,
let's
you're
go
right.
back to the core Virgo. and then
Yeah,
we'll answer
yeah,
the question.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Eric, and I'm a Virgo. And Virgos are going to be the sixth sign of the zodiac, to be exact. And that's the way Virgos like it. Exacting. Those born under this horoscope sign are forever the butt of jokes for being so picky and critical, and they can be. But their attention to detail is for a reason, to help others. Virgos, more than any other zodiac sign, were born to serve,
Oh,
and
no.
it gives them great joy. They're also tailor-made for the job, since common Virgo traits are being industrious, methodical, and efficient. The sense of duty borne by these folks is considerable, and ensures that they will always work for the greater good. And that's
Wow.
me in a nutshell.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
just a Virgo.
I do think
That's
it's,
me.
I do think it's funny that last episode I made a joke about you being a Virgo, not knowing you were actually a Virgo.
You
Did you
know
actually
that?
not know?
I didn't know at the
You
time.
knew.
I didn't. I just, dude, it's clearly a fit.
All right. I'm just the walking zodiac stereotype then, I
Yeah.
guess.
Wait, do you think this is you though?
I mean, I guess to a reasonable extent. I mean, I do live to serve.
Don't say it like that. You know,
My life for hire.
I mean, you kiss your homies goodnight, but like you're more than just that.
No, that's about it.
Yeah. No, I feel like parts of it like do like kind of stand out to me, like being like very like detail oriented, like attention to detail, being like picky, like very detail oriented. I feel like tracks with you.
And I do like to help others. Like I do a lot of things to help other people
Yeah.
in general. Like it's not wrong, but here's the thing. I could go to probably every one of the zodiacs and be like, yeah, that's also me.
Yeah.
No, no, that's not true. This is you to a T, and I think it's fate that you ended up a Virgo.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll forever be a Virgo.
Oh no. Well, yes, presumably, unless the stars change. Dude, do you think when like humanity transcends Earth and like makes for the stars, they'll have to rework astrology?
Huh.
Like, what if you go to astrology.com.tr and it's like select country or place, and it's like
select planet,
Interstellar Space Station 36. Like, I don't know. Like, clearly it's not gonna the astrology, like, clearly where things are in the sky are not gonna match up anymore.
We need new sages for a new millennium.
Yeah, we'll need new people to guide us and lead us.
That's actually a really interesting question. I'm gonna ask my coworkers who are big into astrology what their thoughts are.
Oh my god, please do. Yeah, I want to hear it from the experts.
Bring them onto the pod.
I don't know. I feel like we need to take this more seriously if we're gonna bring them onto the pod.
Dude, it would actually be such a cool ep to be like, we just talk with an astrology expert, but they have to be like down for it. Like they have to be like knowledgeable and into it, but also be like, yeah, like we can be a little ridiculous with it. If they get offended when I'm like, so like, is this true? Because I'm a Leo, but that's not me. And they're like, well, maybe it's you in like a different way, and maybe you should be more considerate of your star sign or whatever.
I think it's stuff like this is interesting, like all this cold reading and like tarot and stuff like that. It's interesting because it makes you think of yourself and your life in a different way. And maybe allows you to think of solutions and like look at things with a different perspective, which could be helpful to people, right?
Like how
I feel like think of think of reading your horoscope, right?
Okay.
If it's just kind of like, well, horoscopes are tending to be like cold readings, right?
Yeah.
If you're able to relate that to something in your life, and by relating it to something in your life, it helps you work through a problem or something that you're thinking about, then like, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, I agree. I think that's an interesting and healthy take, which is by like reading into it, and it basically is like it's like targeted introspection.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the problem arises when you instead take that and be like, okay, well, this is truth, and now I need to like form my life to this reading.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where it gets like kind of toxic. But I think otherwise, yeah, if it's like, oh, let me think about this like topic a little more detailed today, I think that's healthy. I like that.
Yeah. It's like seeing something in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's why don't we do a quick recap of our signs?
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next thing. I'm Aquarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, and Cancer Rising, but of course you guys already knew that because you know me so well.
You're stealing my line. That's my line.
All right, go on, Teva.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. I'm Teva. I'm a Leo. Obviously, I ooze Leo energy. The amount of times people have said, "Oh, you're such a Leo," is double digit probably. 10. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm a Leo. I feel like my moon sign and my rising sign may be incorrect, but for the sake, because I don't know the exact time I was born, but for the sake of argument, we'll say I'm a Gemini moon sign and a Scorpio rising, and yeah, I definitely feel like I vibe with like a lot of Leo energy aspects, like in the right environments, I enjoy being the center of attention. I think I'm pretty like, fun and outgoing, like with the right people, and able to like bring like a chill like vibe and energy. But in other ways, definitely like not, where I like don't always want to be the center of attention, and certainly not in like big groups.
Yeah. Huh? I'm Eric. I'm a Virgo, and I am just my bowels, I guess.
You're some part of the digestive system.
If not all of it,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah. And they
The
split it up.
entirety of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's just
have
since you
cancer, so I also get my. What do I get for my cancer again?
you get
Uh,
you get some good things from the cancer.
yes. Also, just the stomach and the breast and my brain.
Mm,
These are all very important things and
all
very
important.
core to my personality as
Yeah, I
well too.
can't believe they split up the brain like that. Like the brain seems like a big one. You just get other stuff with it.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, I
On
guess
fa-
so.
All right.
It's value.
They threw in the extra bits.
Yeah.
All the offcuts.
I just get the heart. Like it's just the heart. Nothing else. Circulatory system, maybe. I don't know.
What was your moon sign, Eric?
Oh yeah, my moon sign? That would be Libra.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Of
such-
course.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
You're definitely
you should
a moon
know this,
Libra. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely. This is the most I've looked at horoscope stuff ever. So, should we move on to the next test we all did?
Sure.
Yes.
What do you want to do next?
I'm down to do Myers-Briggs.
Okay.
Yeah, good old 16 types.
Yeah, so this is one like people might be somewhat familiar with. I feel like it's one of those like personality type tests that like kind of like tries to root itself in being like, oh, we've like broken down individual aspects of the personality, and because of that, like it's more accurate than say something like a horoscope or astrology reading. I mean, again, my take is like similarly, like it can help make you think about some things, but it's fundamentally a cold reading and different aspects might be more or less you. I think it might be helpful. I don't know if everyone like is familiar with the Myers-Briggs, but you can always go to like the 16personalities.com. I think they do a good job of like graphically designing everything and making it like pretty and easy to look at.
It's very user friendly.
Yeah, it's very user friendly. That's like the best thing about it. And so this test, like, it's a little more complicated than the astrology signs, obviously, right? But it kind of fundamentally looks at 5 personality aspects, 4 of which are like pretty big. So I think it might be helpful to like go over them just really quickly so we have an idea what we're talking about. The first one is like introversion versus extroversion. They kind of put this category as like your mind, like how do you interact with your surroundings. I think most people are probably pretty familiar with like the difference between being introverted and extroverted. The second aspect is energy. So how we see the world and process information. So here they break it down into being observant. So it's like they kind of classify it as being more like practical and like down to earth versus being intuitive, which is being more imaginative and open-minded and like curious. So it's kind of like how you take in information and like what you do with it, how you see things. The third aspect is nature, which is they say it's like how we make decisions and like cope with our emotions, and kind of breaks down to like, do you feel like you're more like thinking minded? Like, are you more of a thinker where you're like looking at logic and rationality and objectivity? Or are you more like feeling based where you're like, you know, you have emotions and you're like very much like in tune and like use your emotions to kind of make these decisions and like cope with like how you're feeling. And then the final aspect I think we'll talk about are like they refer to as tactics. And this kind of relates to how we approach work, planning, and decision making is what they say. So they basically break this down into judging and prospecting. And so judging individuals are more like decisive, organized, and like want like a very clear, like planned out path. Whereas prospecting individuals are good at like being more like flexible, kind of adapting to like the situation, and are less like firm planners and more like, oh, what we're doing, whatever this is, oh, we can make this work, is kind of the idea I've gotten from that. And we'll kind of probably go over these as we talk about our personality types and what's so cool and fun about them. So I don't know. Do one of you want to start with your cool personality type?
Why don't you go first, Eric?
Right. So my personality type is going to be INFP, and that tag is going to be the mediator tag.
This is so you.
And honestly, that should okay. Before we start, I will say,
yeah.
in general, the things that you get are generally going to be you, because that's just
What do
kind
you
of the
mean?
way
No.
that it is.
Are you saying humans are multifaceted and have aspects of like all of these personalities probably within them?
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, by all means, like it will very much match up. But yeah, in any case, uh, mediators, they are quiet and unassuming, but they have vibrant, passionate inner lives, creative and imaginative. They happily lose themselves in daydreams, inventing all sorts of stories and conversations in their minds. These personalities,
These personalities.
personalities are known for their sensitivity. Mediators can have profound emotional responses to music, art, nature, and the people around them. Idealistic and empathetic. Mediators long for deep, soulful relationships,
Soul.
and they feel called. They feel called to help others, but because this personality type makes up such a small portion of the population, mediators may sometimes feel lonely or invisible, adrift in a world that doesn't seem to appreciate the traits that make them unique.
Dude, it's so funny that you say that because I've read many of these personality types, and I feel like 90% of the personality types is like because this personality type is so rare. Like it's just like you should tell every personality like they're special. It's like, oh, you make up such a small amount of the population. There's so few of you.
And that makes me feel very, very special.
Yeah.
I just dripping with just the joy of that. But I feel like the interesting thing to look at here is actually the distribution, because on the actual website, if you guys have done it before, you guys want to that the underneath your results, they'll actually show you the percentage of either one of those traits of which way you swing.
Yeah, that's true.
So on the extroverted introverted line of things, which do you think I lean more towards?
Well, so we know you're introverted, but it's kind of like a question of like how heavily you swing one way. I feel like honestly,
you're 53%.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably pretty close.
So, at least according to this, I'm 28% extroverted and 72% introverted.
What?
Nani?
And
Oh, that's so interesting. Holy shit, that's so introverted.
I mean, end of the day, I still very much am, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know I still lean more introverted than I do extroverted. Would it be this much? I don't know. It's all kind of arbitrary anyways, but, you know? I still know at the very end of the day, yeah, I still would lean more towards introverted by, like, a non-zero amount.
Is that your biggest percentage difference? Or, like,
it actually is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
actually is. Because for me, like I said, so intuitive versus observant. Where do you think I lay on that?
53%.
I like that number.
I think it's more, it's closer to 50-50, right?
Yeah, so this one's 58-42.
Okay.
And same with judging and prospecting. I'm 58% prospecting, 42% judging. So very 50 on that end. However, for F, for feeling, that is very close in line because that's 71% feeling and 29% thinking. So just a percent difference off the two.
So you're such a feeling introvert. You're like a very feely introvert.
Which does make sense, at least just the way that, like, what affects me in the end of the day of how I run the way that I do.
Yeah.
And that, like, tracks, right? I still not too sure about the whole turbulent thing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about this, but yes, they have a fifth like kind of category, which is like assertive versus turbulent, and it's kind of just like my understanding of it is it's like how, like, I don't know, like confident, or what's the description? It's like it's just like how whether or not you're confident in your abilities and decisions or not, which is like a weird category. I think I feel like they added this in later because I remember they used to not have it, but yeah, for me it's like I don't know. I don't read too much into this one. It's basically like, are you like securely attached to things, or are you more like worried and like stressed and like more self-conscious?
Eric, did you say you were assertive or were you turbulent?
He's gone. He's dead.
He's dead.
Guys,
oh, it's muted.
Yeah.
I'm actually turbulent.
That tracks.
Yeah, I don't think that's overly surprising.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's like wrong to be like self-conscious at all. Like, I don't
definitely not.
Yeah,
that like should come as a surprise to no one. But the interesting thing is, so they also have these tags as well too. So underneath your main role, they also have like a general role, like a like beneath that.
Mhm.
Mine was diplomat, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess that does make sense.
I
And then
feel
underneath
like I
that is
see that for you.
constant improvement as well too.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much how they say like, oh, this is how you like do your stuff. This is how you run your life, pretty much. And that is also actually true, as far as like constantly wanting to improve.
I feel like you
Like,
are a very like not in like a negative way or anything, but like a very like diplomatic person in the sense that you like try to like take how everyone is feeling and like work things out and kind of like achieve like a harmony of like group like dynamics.
yeah, I mean, it 100% is. Like I said, none of these things necessarily surprise me,
Yeah.
just because it's kind of tailor made to it to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think if you saw like I don't know, I was looking at some of my like some of the other personalities, I'm like, oh, this is 100% not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think some of them obviously like will lean more in like your realm. Like I don't know. At one point I was looking at like I think like virtuoso, and I'm like they love exploring things with their hands and eyes, touching and examining the world around them. And I'm like no, not really. That's not me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, there's definitely a few where I'm like, all right, that there's like I'm so far away from that. And again, it makes sense, right? Because the way
Yeah.
you answer these questions in the day are going to very specifically match with like what that's the whole point of it, right? So
Yeah, it'll match with like
like,
certain attributes, right? Like
mhm.
more so
So
than
like
others.
it really shouldn't surprise anyone to as long as they answered it as like as accurately as possible. Like it shouldn't be a surprise to be like, wow, that's so me. You know, it's just like yeah,
I mean,
it should because
I
we're
feel like
you know
I feel like it shouldn't like be like way like out of left field, like oh this is not me. But like with any cold
mhm.
reading things, there are going to be aspects to like oh I kind of agree with that, like I vibe with that. Like maybe I'm like yeah you know I am really like idealistic and empathetic, but I don't really feel like I daydream like that much. So maybe that part isn't as you know like I feel like there's
Mhm.
aspects that could be more or less um true essentially like
Yeah.
each
There's like a
individual.
few things here and there that are like
That's
but like
interesting.
I'd say most of it is pretty spot on in most cases.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, and again, this is what I like about the 16personalities.com. They give you this fun little name, and it's like all colorful, and there's like a little avatar. And I definitely feel like I see you as like a mediator, like that like that word tracks for you, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
And I am known to be very similar to Johnny Depp as well too. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
Or
he is known as a mediator.
you know, I really, I have called you the Tolkien of our era, before Eric.
God,
Yeah.
truly
Truly the second coming of
fantastic.
Shakespeare. Should I go ahead and do mine or
Sure, go ahead.
all right. So mine might not surprise too many of y'all. I've taken this test 3 times and I've gotten uh the same personality type 2 of the times, which is this one, which is the logician, which is INTP. And so I'll go ahead and read like the first like little paragraph. It's actually pretty short for the logician. Logicians pride themselves on their unique perspectives and vigorous intellect. They can't help but puzzle over the mysteries of the universe, which may explain why some of the most influential philosophers and scientists of all time have been logicians.
Wow.
This
right up there with them.
Yeah, that's me and Einstein up there at the top, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This personality type is fairly rare, but with their that's what I'm saying. They all say this. But with their creativity and inventiveness, logicians aren't afraid to stand out from the crowd. So this really told me nothing. But I think I somewhat agree that like there are aspects of like this like being introverted, intuitive thinking, and prospecting that like I agree with. So I like how Eric went into like the kind of ratios because it does show where you like lean more heavily. So I'll go ahead and you guys don't have to guess. I will say that I was 60% introverted and 40% extroverted, which to me kind of tracks. I feel like for most of these personality, like these attributes, I've been like very close to 50%, one way or the other, which is interesting. But yeah, and especially when they're like, when they kind of give this blurb that like introverted individuals tend to prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interactions and often feel drawn to calmer environments, which I definitely vibe with. I really don't like loud, noisy environments. I would much rather like hang out with someone one-on-one and have like a good, like deep, meaningful conversation. Like, and obviously there's a balance, right? Like I don't want to always only do that. I'd also like to hang out with a group of friends and like play games or have fun. But I do think like fewer but like more impactful social interactions is true for me. But I also, like hang out with a group. That's why it's kind of like close to 50. Interestingly, for the intuitive versus observant, this one when I took it was super close. I was 51% intuitive. So
Damn,
like
that's
it's literally like a
close.
coin flip. That being said, I have always ended up intuitive. So for me, like I think it's still a pretty consistent thing. It's just closer to the middle. But yeah, again, this is just like a balance of being like imaginative and open-minded versus being like very like realistic and like working within the confines of reality. And this one's kind of a harder one for me to like come to grips with, like what does this mean in like a real world like scenario. Um I don't know. I feel like I'm a good balance of like realistic but also like optimistic and like creative. So I vibe with that. For the third letter, nature, I was 60% thinking as well. And so again, this for me tracks. I feel like I'm like relatively in touch with my emotions, but I also like fundamentally like I listen to my emotions, I care about my emotions, but I also like let my like brain and logic kind of lead usually. I try to make sure that like they're in agreement where I'm like if my emotions and my like logic are like out of sync, I feel like one of them has to kind of change and work so that they're in alignment. Um because otherwise it just like doesn't make sense to me. If like, well, if I feel this way, there's a reason I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? Should I feel this way? And then also simultaneously, maybe there's a good reason I feel this way. Maybe I should change the way I'm thinking about things. So yeah, again, still pretty balanced. And the last one, I was 55% prospecting. Which again to me means, I like to have a plan. I'm also fine with like, you know, being a little flexible. Like I don't like super spontaneous random decisions, and I don't like not going into things without a plan. Um, but I do think like that fundamentally, like, I don't know, like I feel like I could honestly go either way on this, where it's like I like having a bit of a plan, but I'm also a very flexible person in the sense that like if something changes, like and it's not super important, like I'm good to go with that. And I'll use this as an opportunity to say that like when I took the test the first time, I actually got INTJ, which is the architect. So this is the one personality trait that is like flipped for me in the past. And I kind of, this is like a funny thing for me where I when looking at like the architect's like personality type, it's just, I swear whoever made this fucking website was an architect, because it is so like fucking jerking itself off. Like, let me just read this, dude. It can be lonely at the top. Like literally first sentence, first fucking sentence, as one of the rarest personality types and one of the most capable. Architects know this all too well. Rational and quick-witted, architects pride themselves on their ability to think for themselves, not to mention their uncanny knack for seeing right through phoniness and hypocrisy.
Jesus.
I know, right? But because their minds are never at rest, architects may struggle to find people who can keep up with their non-stop analysis of everything around them.
Oh my god.
Like it's just so fucking like, God. It's so gross. Dude, you know who's an architect?
Who?
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Dude, this is all according to the website, but it's like, bro, like, relax, chill.
Dude, it's so funny to scroll all the way to the bottom,
Yeah,
of the types, and then see the comments, and everyone's just like, "Wow, this is so me. This is so accurate."
Yeah,
I couldn't find better words to describe my personality.
dude. Yeah.
I didn't know my personality was this unique, he says.
Oh my god. For like the fucking logician, people are like, does anyone else think that other like people think I have no emotions or don't show a lot of sympathy? Like I get this all the time, but I just don't get it. Like, God, I hate it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like like such logician vibes. God, I'm such a logician. Oh.
We should create accounts and be like, this is wrong.
Oh my god.
So,
Dude, we should create, yeah. Oh my god. Dude, it's just you have to sign up for like the premium guides and tests. Or you,
Yeah,
it's not worth.
not worth it.
These are like actually the people who unironically are like, does anyone else do this? And I'm just
I
like,
mean, this is unironically one of the things people sometimes put on like their dating profile apps, like INTP
Oh, yeah.
looking for ENFJ, like I don't know, but it's just like one of those things where it's like some people are really similar to astrology. Like some people really get into this stuff and are like, oh my god, this is how I should base my like life decisions on, or like this is who I am. You know, I just can't.
It's funny because year one psychology, you're introduced to this kind of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like these are some frameworks people have created to understand ourselves and other people. And then year two psychology is like, yeah. So anyway, that was all wrong.
Dude, literally, it's funny because everyone like kind of like talks about like, you know, like Sigmund Freud as like the father of like modern psychology, at least from like popular culture. And then anytime anyone talks about Sigmund Freud like in like a scientific way, they're like, yeah, so everything he like just like talked about and discovered was actually pretty much wrong. Like,
Yeah.
none of it was correct. I'm like, oh no. So yeah,
it's so sick. Like,
I-
yeah, you started learning all these different things. Yeah, nope.
like I
Yeah,
think I
well,
fundamentally
yeah.
agree with the idea of it being a framework. Like that's
Mhm.
okay, that's fine, but it's not something to base your life around.
I thought I was so unique. I didn't realize other people were exactly like me as well.
Every
have
personality
this-
type is rare and unique.
I have this quote here,
Yeah.
and it's Myers-Briggs suffers from several serious criticisms,
Oh no.
including poor repeatability, self-reporting bias, and a lack of critical scrutiny.
Lack of kernels. God damn.
Myers and Briggs weren't even psychologists.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What they do?
I don't know, but I'm guessing this made them a lot of money.
Probably
That
just
is
business
fair.
people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, any of these online tests, I think, will suffer from like, yeah, reporting bias, where you're like, no, I'm not like this. Clicks button.
right.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so like fallacious. It's just like, well, you know, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, that's so me. I am so great.
Yeah, the self-reporting bias is like actually
Dude.
probably the largest issue.
Yeah. Like this more says how you like view yourself internally, less like who you necessarily are in a sense. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can be so out of touch with who you are as a person too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I 100%.
anyway,
agree. So what are you?
but I'm super in touch with myself. Sorry to one up you, Teva, but I'm an advocate, an INFJ, and they may be the rarest personality type of all, but they certainly leave their mark on the world.
No way.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Each of you, Eric was like, "There's not very many of me," and Teva, you're like, "Mine's a rare personality type, and mine's like the rarest of all."
Dude, fucking, you just
I get destroyed.
Yeah.
Idealistic and principled, they aren't content to coast through life. They want to stand up and make a difference. For advocate personalities, success doesn't come from money or status, but from seeking fulfillment, helping others, and being a force for good in the world. While they have lofty goals and ambitions, advocates shouldn't be mistaken for idle dreamers. People with this personality type care about integrity, and they're rarely satisfied until they've done what they know to be right. Conscientious to the core, they move through life with a clear sense of their values, and they aim never to lose sight of what truly matters, not according to other people or society at large, but according to their own wisdom and intuition.
Oh my god. Oh, dude. What? God, I thought the architect one was bad, and I still think it's worse, but God.
Guess my percent for introverted versus extroverted.
Dude. I feel like if Eric's was like 70, I feel like yours is also like 75.
87.
You guys are so wrong.
Is it 60?
No, 53%
What?
introverted.
Wild.
I know.
What? This is so interesting.
It's pretty funny. None of my scores
Yeah.
for the core 4 are above 60%,
Okay, yeah, similar. Yeah, I agree.
but I'm 82% assertive.
And this is why I'm the most unique.
That actually tracks. I guess I could go back. I was like 55% assertive. So like slightly assertive, but not as much. But I definitely see you as an assertive person.
Yeah, I think it's less like assertiveness per se, and it's like assertiveness is a weird way to put it.
It's a weird word.
But yeah, it's more like being self-assured.
Yeah,
Which,
self-internal like
yeah.
conviction and like being self-assured is a good way to put it.
Hmm.
Stubborn.
Well, you don't have to go that far.
No, I'm just saying you are. Yeah.
Anyway, I've taken this multiple times,
Yeah.
and I was consistently not this personality type.
Oh, really? What were you before?
Oh,
I've taken this test at least
you've
4
switched.
different times,
Yeah.
and every other time I was a logistician, which is ISTJ.
Ooh.
So I switched from
Interesting.
observant to intuitive, and from thinking to feeling.
Ooh.
And a lot of this comes down to, like I was saying, self-reporting bias.
Yeah.
And I've had to make a more conscious effort
Mhm.
to be more understanding of people and more understanding of emotions.
Mm.
So I think that is, when I'm answering questions, these types of things are like more front of mind,
Right.
which is making me answer in ways that, are different than how I would have used to answer. So
Yeah.
but that being said, the difference is still between the two in terms of percent is very low. 56% intuitive to 44% observant,
Yeah.
and then 54% feeling to 46% thinking.
Yeah. That actually tracks. I feel like I remember talking with you about this a long time ago, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm a logistician." I'm like, that tracks for you a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, back then I used to be the most common personality type. Look how far I've come.
Oh my god!
Wow.
From the most common to the rarest.
Very
The
proud
rarest
of
of
you.
all.
Yeah.
So the first few times I did this, I was not INFP. I was actually INFJ, which is advocate as well.
Okay. Your
And
rarity
I think the
decreased.
last two,
Yeah,
the
you got
last
demoted.
2 times, I've normalized now.
Yeah.
No, I believe it's the last 2 times, and there was a few years in between as well too. Yeah, where it used to be advocate, and then now it consistently has been mediator as well too. So, but again, it's such a close like difference between the two. I could flip pretty easily, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to like state that like, you take the test and then it like puts you in a bin, right? Based on like
Yeah.
based on where you fall on like some of the things. And so yeah, if you're like 52-48 on something, it's like you could easily flip into something else, which is, totally fair. And so it's more important to get the sense, like that's why I think I wanted to start with us talking about like the core, like what the core personality like aspects were, because they kind of tell you different things, supposedly, of course, about like how you like look at and see the world. I feel like for a long time, like logistician like really fit you, Luke. Like I know anytime like we would do an escape room, it felt like you were the one like coordinating everyone and being like, okay, we have this information here, they're working on this, like I definitely saw that element of your personality for sure.
Yeah, not particularly flashy or attention seeking. Doing more than my share to keep society on a sturdy, stable foundation.
Yeah. And you really earned my respect for your reliability and practicality and ability to stay grounded and logical, even in the most stressful situations.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's a logistician to the T.
I really don't think I could have said it better myself.
Yeah, no one could have written it better.
Yeah, written.
Yeah.
Wow, you wrote that?
As a logistician,
Yeah, I do think
I mean what I say, man.
Oh my god. I do think it is interesting that like in us like taking the test this time, we're all like kind of introverted. Which to me tracks and makes sense, just like in terms of like the type of people we are, and like we all need our like time to our, like everyone does, but like I think we all fall on that spectrum. I do think this will kind of like transition potentially nicely into the Enneagrams. Like I feel like sometimes there is like a distinction of how you like view yourself and your internal self when you're like alone versus how you view and look at your internal self when you're, or like yourself when you're like interacting with other people. Because I think like for Eric, like you like scored so introverted, and I think that's like, but I think out of all of us, maybe that's not true, but I feel like you definitely spend the most time like interacting and talking to people, talking to strangers, but also like talking to friends just like on Discord.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
I feel
for
like
Mhm.
Luke and I have way more downtime during the day where we're like not really talking to like anyone, or like maybe
Mhm.
like texting like a couple people like intermittently throughout the day, or something like
Mhm.
smaller. Whereas I feel like a lot of times you like will spend your evening being like, oh yeah, let me hang out like in a Discord call with some friends.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to think back to the things that I answered, right? And there's definitely a few things that I feel like very strongly about.
Yeah.
And I think ones that I tend to have leaned more towards strongly on were things like along the lines of like, yeah, I prefer like having my own time as well too, which is kind of
Yeah.
interesting, right? Because most everything else I answered very much like about 50-50 for a lot of the things that are leaning more towards central.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would make sense. I think it's just maybe the way they word things as well too. I don't know, like there's a lot of things that they weight things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But
again, it's like Luke said, it is criticized for the self-reporting bias and its lack of scrutiny. So
Yeah.
it's far from like a perfect
yeah,
test for
100%.
personality. But I do think that like if I had to like think about like your internal view of your like introversion for extroversion, I think you would potentially lean more introverted internally. But I think like the actions you take often are more like, oh yeah, let me like hang out with people. Maybe
I mean, I guess that's the thing, right? Like that's always the thing with like being introverted versus extroverted, right?
Yeah.
Is like you can still be very social and be introverted, right? End of the day.
Sure, that is true. It's that's a good point. It's more like where you feel like where you like recharge your energy, like what situations you recharge your energy in.
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
You know, ultimately I think describing things as a whole bunch of binaries isn't super helpful,
Sure.
which is why describing things as points on a weird looking circle with a bunch of lines is truly the superior
Oh
method
my god!
of personality assessment.
Introducing Enneagrams. Do you? Is there? You guys is there like a summary of like what Enneagrams are? Like, let me see about.
You're basically drawing a pentagram.
Yeah.
You're drawing. It's like
Instead of summoning evil, it summons you,
it
the
summons you.
person.
Yeah, it's a pentagram, but with 9 points. It's a nonogram. Perhaps
I mean,
it's an
they don't
enneagram.
even. Oh.
Ooh.
They don't even all connect though. There's this weird like no man's land where the robots are. I assume.
Yeah, it's the base of the pyramid. It's the base of
Yeah.
the pentagram. It has no form and no shape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a very weird. It's like this is strange. This is a weird shape.
Yeah. Let's see if let me read this. From one point of view, the Enneagram can be seen as a set of 9 distinct personality types. Blah blah blah.
What about the other points of view, Teva?
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious. They haven't told me anything about the other points of view. Essentially, yeah. Go ahead.
Let's see. I'm reading here. It's a personality typing system that can consist of 9 types. Everyone is considered to be one single type, although one can have traits belonging to other ones. Yeah, there are 9 types or Ennea types. Ennea means 9.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good to know.
Yeah. Anyway, the types are all numbered 1 through 9, and they have the titles: the reformer, the helper, the achiever, the individualist, the investigator, the loyalist, the enthusiast, the challenger, and the peacemaker.
Yes. And because they're aligned on like this weird like pentagram shaped thing, there's like a question of like distance and like connections between the two. So like 1 is adjacent to 9 and 2, 2 is adjacent to 1 and 3, and somehow this maybe matters for some of these things.
It does?
Yeah, but
Yeah. I love how they describe all of the types though, because they list the like 9 types, and then there's like a short descriptive phrase, and it's always like good thing, but bad thing.
Yeah. No, they go really hard on the bad stuff.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because some of them are like bad thing, but like, how bad is this bad thing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like for example, number one is principled, purposeful, self-controlled, perfectionistic. Is that
Question mark.
is that a bad compared to fucking number two, which is demonstrative, generous, people pleasing, possessive? That sounds bad.
So sick.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just another system that's like less common than Myers-Briggs, but I think also kind of like funny and amusing. So should we like just kind of get into it? Do you want to start us off, Luke?
Yeah, sure. So my Enneagram type results. I am primarily a type 3.
Ooh.
Assessment saying I am 12.7 in type 3.
Oh my god.
My three main types are type 3, type 7 at 8.4, and type 2 at 8. You may be wondering what these things mean. I know I am.
Yeah.
Anyway, type 3 is the achiever. Here on eclecticenergies.com, the achiever is described as focused on the presentation of success to attain validation. And the Enneagram Institute says the achiever is the success-oriented pragmatic type, adaptive, excelling, driven, and image conscious.
Wow, you to a T.
Yeah, I guess so.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. I just heard image conscious, and so I was.
Dude, eclecticenergies.com comes out the gate like pulling no punches. People of this personality type need to be validated in order to be feeling happy.
Oh my god.
They pursue success and want to be admired. Like, oh, okay, man, that's a little mean.
It's a little weird.
Calm down, please.
Yeah.
It's not really validating my feelings there.
Oh my god. True.
They are frequently hardworking, competitive, and are highly focused in the pursuit of their goals. Whether the goal is to be the most successful salesman in the company or the sexiest woman in their social circle.
That's me.
That's you.
They are often self-made and usually find some area in which they can excel and thus find the external appropriation which they so desperately need.
Oh my god.
Threes are socially competent, often extroverted, and sometimes charismatic. That sounds a little bit like a jab. Sometimes charismatic.
That's just so vague. Like, yeah, sometimes they're charismatic. Sometimes they're not.
They know how to present themselves, are self-confident, practical, and driven. Threes have a lot of energy and often seem to embody a kind of zest for life that others find contagious. They are good networkers who know how to rise through the ranks. But while threes do tend to succeed in whatever realm they focus their energies, they are often secretly afraid of becoming or being losers.
Dude, is this all eclectic energies?
This is all from Eclectic Energies.
Eclectic energies is so fucking predatory.
Yeah, who hurt you, Eclectic Energies? Was it a 3?
Dude, out for fucking blood.
Dude, they're like, yeah, here's all your deepest insecurities and why you think you won't succeed in life. Mr. Achiever.
My peripheral, I guess, types are type 7, the enthusiast, who are, according to Eclectic Energies, pleasure seekers and planners in search of distraction. Or, according to Enneagram Institute, the busy, fun-loving type, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered. And type 2 is the helper. Eclectic Energies calls them helpers who need to be needed. And Enneagram Institute calls them the caring interpersonal type, demonstrative, generous, people-pleasing, and possessive.
Dude, eclectic energies is so like literally every description is a fucking jab.
Yeah, it seems like they're really preying on people's insecurities.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you need to feel needed. Like, do you not feel needed? Oh, you're like in search of a distraction. What's wrong with you?
Damn, but they're right though, because guess what?
Oh no!
I'm also a 3.
Oh, whoa! The double threes?
The double threes. Oh, I might as well just say my wing too while we're at it. 3W2, which I guess means I'm closest to between a 3 and a 2
Yeah, I
on
think
the Enneagram
Yeah.
pentagram.
yes, I think the wing system works is that like the personality types adjacent to you, like you can have them as a wing. And a
Mm-hmm.
wing kind of means that like yeah, no man is an island. You're not just one personality type. You can have aspects of more than one personality
At
type.
least
Are you,
two.
are you sure the individualist is not an island? You know, the sensitive withdrawn type?
Don't worry, we'll get to that.
Okay, Eric, so you're
Eric,
core
go.
type 3?
Yeah, guess what my wing is?
Are you
Yeah,
also a
two?
3 wing too?
Yes, sir.
Oh
That makes
my
sense.
god.
I could see that.
What?
You and I, we're the
We're the
same.
same.
Dude, actually the same. Wow, that's so interesting that you guys like match the exact same. Do you happen to have the numbers of how like high your scores were, Eric? Or
To be fair,
do, actually.
Teva, it's because we are Cancer rising.
We are
God,
Cancer
That
rising.
is true. The rising side. It's how you present your outer self.
Shit,
Yeah.
I'll take a screenshot of it really quick. We'll put it over here in homework. Here you go. These are my numbers.
Whoa,
Do they really
numbers.
mean all that much? You know? Who knows? But
Holy
type
shit,
9 is
you
my
guys-
closest one
You guys
at
have such
10.7.
high scores.
Yeah, I'm a lot of a person.
Yeah, my highest score for reference was a 7. You
That's
guys,
wild.
you guys
Don't
fucking hear the
fucking
double
bother,
digits.
There's no intersecting lines.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Okay, so you're both like type like 3 wing 2s. So we I guess Luke kind of stole all your thunder, Eric. So I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, Luke, what are your other two, like the types? What are the other two highest score types?
My other 2 highest scores were type 7 and type 2.
And what were the
So-
scores for that?
8.4 and 8.
Okay, so I guess mine lean a lot more heavily
you
into.
have a lot more balanced of a like scoreboard. Like for reference, like your type 3 is like basically 12, and then 9, 6, and 2 are all around 10. So like you've got aspects of a lot of different types going there. Like you could easily be like a type 9 or a type 6. Like I feel like Luke had like a very clear type
Yeah.
3 score.
Yeah, 12.7 versus 8.4. That's like a 4.3 difference.
Yeah, wow, and he's good at math.
And
Yeah,
you
like
do math.
type 3s.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so hot.
Oh, it's so hot. I'm getting wet.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, yeah.
The interesting thing there is, I'm just gonna read the names, and then I guess it'll track because 9, which is my second closest, was the Peacemaker.
Dude, I think you're a type 9.
Mm.
You know what type 6 is?
I do.
The Loyalist. And
Uh,
why would you know that, Teva?
so we can transition into talking about me now. So I took the test, and it was really funny because the whole reason I even brought this up is because I have a friend in Portland, and we have like talked about this like Enneagram test and like just kind of like for fun, like using it like how do you like see this like in your personality and like how does this like look at who you are? And she was like for the longest time, it's like, Eva, I'm pretty sure you're a type 6. I think you're the loyalist. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, yeah, I kind of see like a lot of these traits. So let's like go ahead and like get into the loyalist, talk about it a bit. Enneagram Institute, the loyalist, committed, security-oriented type, engaging, responsible, anxious, and suspicious. Wow, they gave them 2 bad ones. That's fucked up.
You'll get destroyed, man.
Yeah, type 6 sucks. But yeah, and I don't even want to talk about what any like eclectic energies says about the type 6 because like the very first sentence on this website is people of this personality type essentially feel insecure. And I'm just like, bro, relax.
Lay off.
Lay off, dude. Conflicted between trust and distrust. But yeah, I think like she was basically saying like you feel like, you know, you're very like you really value your like relationships with people. You're very like loyal and like committed to them like once you like bond with them. And so like she also like mentions that like and she would probably explain this better, but like 6s are also one of the like least like harder to pin down Enneagram personality types just because you're so like loyal to your friends, and I'm probably butchering this slightly, but the idea is like because you're kind of like the personality type that can most morph or shift into like another, because it's like dependent on like who you're hanging around and like and that kind of stuff. And so basically from all this conversation, she's like, I think you're a type 6. And I'm like, all right, bet. Let me go ahead and take the test. And my scores. So my top score was a type 4 with a score of 7. So like literally lower than like all of your guys' top scores. And then my second was a type 6 with a score of 5.7. So like still in the same realm in my mind. And right after that is type 2 with a score of 5.4. So like, and then type 5 is also there, like a 5. So it's all like in that zone. And so why don't I talk about type 4, since that is what my Enneagram score gave me, which is the individualist, which the Enneagram Institute describes as the sensitive and introspective type, expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental. And you know, I mean, obviously, I like reading this. I feel like I have like some aspects of this, right? Where I'm like, let's see. 4s are self-aware, sensitive, and reserved. They are emotionally honest, creative, and personal, but can also be moody and self-conscious, withholding themselves from others due to feeling vulnerable and defective. They can also feel disdainful and exempt from ordinary ways of living. They typically have problems with melancholy, self-indulgence, and self-pity. Which again, like anything, it's like, okay, some of these, yeah, but other ones not really. No, I don't really think so. I think yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like a very mixed bag for me in those aspects.
Yeah, that's why you're only a 7 point.
Yeah, like I guess I just don't have a personality is what Eclectic Energies is telling me, because I only scored a 7.
Would you say your basic fear is that you have no identity or personal significance?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's my basic fear. No personality and no significance. I mean, I think, but like, again, it's like, what's your real base core fear? I think my base core fear is much closer to that of a 6, which is like, let's see, like of being without support and guidance. Yeah, kind of like being like alone and not having like close relationships with people I care about. I think much deeper like ties into like my basic core fear. Like, I think I, you know, as most people fundamentally have like this worry of sometimes of like, oh, am I like being like interesting enough in certain social interactions? Am I like an interesting person? Am I fun to be around? But I think if you like take that fear and distill it and boil it down, it comes from fundamentally this idea like, why would I be scared of those things? Well, I want to have friends and like have people like me, I think is the more basic level of that. And so for me, that's why I despite what Eclectic Energy says, I do feel like I resonate more with a type 6. But
oh yeah, that's a total type 6 thing to say.
yeah. And it's funny that you guys both got type 3 because, and I don't know what this even means, but there's like these arrows on the Enneagrams that's like you can move in like your direction of growth or your direction of stress. Or disintegration. Yeah. And it says 6s.
No idea.
When moving in their direction of disintegration, 6s become competitive and arrogant at 3. You guys feel like I've been competitive and arrogant at you guys?
No.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess we're doing good. Okay.
No, just reading it, like looking through all the first blurbs for everything, they just fucking shit on 6s for the entirety of the first paragraph, by the way.
Dude, which one are you looking at? Eclectic Energies?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Eclectic Energies is rude to everyone.
Yeah. Okay, wait. It's rude to everyone, but look, read like 3s, right? Like they're like, okay, yeah, they have some issues, but they also have all these like good things, right? 6, that first paragraph, there's not a single good thing.
Okay, wait, let's read it. Let's read it. Okay. People of this personality type essentially feel insecure, as though there is nothing quite steady enough to hold on to.
Off to a great start.
At the core of the type 6 personality is a kind of fear or anxiety. This anxiety has a very deep source and can manifest in a variety of different styles, making 6s somewhat difficult to describe and to type. So this is, I think, what my friend was saying, is that sometimes they're like difficult to type. What all 6s have in common, however, is the fear rooted at the center of their personality, which manifests in worrying and relentless or restless imaginings of everything that might go wrong. This tendency makes 6s gifted at troubleshooting, but also robs the 6 of much needed peace of mind and tends to deprive the personality of spontaneity. Oof. The essential anxiety at the core of the type 6 fixation tends to permeate the personality with a sort of defensive suspiciousness. God damn.
Bro.
Sixes don't trust easily. They are often, I guess that's kind of true, I don't trust easily. They are often ambivalent about others until the person has absolutely proven herself, at which point they are likely to respond with steadfast loyalty. The loyalty of the six is something of a two-edged sword, however, as sixes are sometimes prone to stand by a friend, partner, job, or cause, even long after it is time to move on.
Like gave you ever so slightly of like, yeah, they're loyal, but
Yeah, you're loyal, but you might be a little too loyal and a little
maybe
too...
you shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be. Yeah. Do you not trust easily? Do you feel like once you trust someone, you get like super like, you know, I don't want to use the word attached, but like kind of like attached and loyal? Yeah, maybe don't do that.
You know the best part is they continue to keep shitting on you in the next paragraph.
Oh my, don't say
They
me.
do not give you
Don't say me.
anything good.
Dude, I know. I'm just telling you, eclectic energies is like, I don't know what they're trying to sell me, but they're trying to sell it very hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like, and it's funny because in either case, like I have a wing 5, where 5 is the investigator, the intense cerebral type, perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. To me, this is like, I don't know. This is just like the scientist type. Like, oh, are you like an academic scientist who just wants to do your own research like alone? Yeah, this is the one for you. So like, I kind of get where like that maybe comes from. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I feel like looking at this makes me realize like I am very introspective, and like obviously I think a lot about myself, but I also think a lot about like my friends, and like I don't know, this is sometimes when I'm just like at home chilling and I've like recently interacted with a friend, I'll be like, I wonder why they're like this, or why they have this like certain like quirk, or why they like care so much about XYZ. So I don't know, I feel like having aspects of 4 and 6 kind of makes sense for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like these, outside of them completely shitting on you for majority of it, like, they're like I do like that they provide you these auxiliary like leanings of just like, oh yeah, you also have these, you know, aspects to you as well too, as opposed to just being one kind of monolithic thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is like I think all humans are non-monolithic things, but
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just all these other things would completely suggest that.
yeah, that's fair. That's true. Like the way they the way they phrase things. I think a cool little fun thing to maybe look at, since you're both 3s and I'm a 6, maybe I should look at our compatibility.
Ooh, 3 plus 3 is 6 after all.
3 plus 3 does equal 6. Dude,
Welcome to the 12 podcast, by the way.
Oh my god. Dude, I think it would be so funny if Eric was a 9 and then we're like 3, 6, 9. And so I didn't mention this, but like Enneagram Institute has this thing where it's like you can look at like which type you are, and you have 2 arrows, one of which is your like direction of growth and one of which is your direction of stress.
Dude, it's just like Pokemon.
And it's just like Pokemon. So like 6 beats 3, or actually the opposite. 3 beats 6, but 6 beats 9.
And 7, 8, 9.
And then 9 beats 3. So if Eric was a 9, we'd be like the perfect like Pokemon trio. So yeah, I thought that was funny. But yeah, let's see. So relationships between 3 and 6s. Surprisingly, this is not a common pairing. This is all from Enneagram Institute. Although these 2 types can work very well as a team. On the positive side, 3s bring hard work, optimism, energy, a desire to communicate and connect with people. Wow, you bring a lot. What the fuck? And a feeling of unlimited potential. Jesus. 3s bring an enormous sense of self-confidence and hope.
Always been saying I bring a lot.
What does 6 bring?
Loyalty.
Depression, anxiety, and
No.
worries.
Sixes bring grounding, industrious hard work, perseverance in difficult times, and loyalty. That's it. That's all. That's all I bring.
Okay,
sorry,
now
buddy.
I'm curious.
I don't make the rules.
What do the 4s bring to the table between 4s and 3s?
Ooh, let's look at that. Let me find that. Okay. These two types can form something of a complementary relationship, with each bringing important qualities to the relationship that the others generally lacks. Fours can teach threes how to talk about themselves on a deeper level and help acknowledge and process their feelings. So true. I feel like I'm giving you guys therapy half the time I talk to you.
So true, bestie.
So true.
Oh, true.
They can also bring threes more sensitivity, a feeling for beauty, and for the non-practical but fulfilling aspects of life. Wow, now I'm bringing a lot to the table, huh? Yeah, finding the threes' heart's desire is an extremely important area of self-awareness in which fours can help. Fours, damn, you keep going about fours. Let's see. Threes model many of the qualities that fours would like to develop in themselves. Threes are well suited to helping fours gain new skills. Threes can help bring a good deal of tact and diplomacy to fours. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, they're calling fours emotional and too sensitive and self-doubting.
That's you.
Bro.
Yeah, that's me.
That's
You caught
something
me.
a four would love to hear.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, they're saying fours are like really smart, artistic, and creative, and threes can teach them fucking basic social skills. Is what I'm getting from this. It's like, yeah, bro, maybe don't be such a dick about this. Yeah.
God, that is impressive.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way like there are aspects of four that I like get, because I think I am like very like introspective, which causes me to think about like myself and others a lot. But I think fundamentally like the way they like portray fours is like very like these artistic, temperamental, like, oh my goodness, woe is me, oh, like people, which I don't think is me at all.
Man, I'm reading all of like the short descriptions of each of them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's me. Hey, that's me. Hey, that's me.
Maybe you're a
Hey,
6.
that's me. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a 10.
You are a 10.
I'm the 10th type.
The 10th type. All of
The
them.
Sigma.
The Sigma, man. The Sigma. God. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess we learned some. What did we
Yeah,
learn
I feel
about
like
each other
we've learned a
today?
lot about ourselves and each other today.
Yeah. Such
Learned
as
a lot from our talk today.
I have learned that Eric. Actually, I already knew this. I feel like Eric is very focused on like, I don't know, like mediating, caring about others, and making sure other people are comfortable. And I've learned Luke is very
Full of
internal.
himself.
I was trying to find a nice way to saying it. Is very internally like secure. I think
Do
is
you
like the biggest
think-
takeaway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
say you decide
And focused. Yeah.
decide you're okay. Gun to your head, you have to pick one of these three. One of these three
Ooh.
assessments as the one you decide you are interested in going forward.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Which do you
which of
pick?
these do you pick?
I'm a Leo.
I'm an Aquarius.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like the idea of walking up to people and going, "I'm a 3." Wing 2. And just leaving it at that.
Honestly, I think of all of these, the one that is the most interesting for me to read through is actually the Enneagram ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Such a type 4.
I'm Stop, no. That's not me. I don't know. I think I like that. I think the biggest thing that I like about the Enneagram ones is they like give you like little blurbs about how you like might relate to other personality types. Whereas for Myers-Briggs, it is even more like very individual and about you, unless maybe if you pay more, it tells you about your like relationships with like the other types. But I think at a base level,
Probably.
it just like, I don't know. I think the way like Myers-Briggs like categorizes and thinks about things, like I don't think Enneagram is any better, but there's just something about like being like put into a bin of like certain emotions that you like care about that I think is more salient to me than being like, you know, you are, I don't know. it's kind of hard to describe, and I kind of lost the train of thought. But I kind of do like the way Enneagram like just frames everything. I think they're all equally useful.
So you think Enneagram is your top pick?
Today, yes, and that
Hmm.
that might change in a month.
Yeah, self-reporting bias.
Yeah, self-reporting bias. Like, I also, dude, this is me. I do like that it's a little less popular than like the Myers-Briggs stuff, because everyone being like, yeah, I'm like such an ENFJ or INTP or whatever. I'm just like, cool, but are you a 6 or a 2?
How much anxiety do you have?
Yeah. According to Eclectic Energies, a lot.
Eric, which one do you like the most?
I feel like Myers-Briggs, because you can use that to relate to people. Like, I'm such an INFJ. Oh, you are too? Oh, that's crazy. Shit like that, where I
Mm.
feel like you look at it, and you can have, like, sometimes just a very rough idea of how someone is like,
Right,
Not
right.
like I put any stock in it, but as far as I think, like, reflective of, like, who they are, I feel like it's the one that gives the most stock.
Yeah.
Just because it's supposed to, right? Like, the questions or the answers reflect, what you answer on the questions, obviously, right? So I feel like it's easier to actually have that be more close to the person.
I honestly think I liked the astrology stuff the most.
Oh
Which is
no.
no, dude, astrology had the most lore. I thought it was so funny that like each person had like a mantra and their like body parts and like a tarot card and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of sick,
Guess what
Yeah.
my tarot card was?
Well,
What was it?
Actually, I forgot. I just know the sign is the Virgin.
oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I can
it's
see
funny
that.
because each of these tries to like explain why it is correct. And I feel like Enneagram and Myers-Briggs are like, yeah, this is who you are because it's who you've said you are and how you've answered the questions. But, astrology doesn't even pretend. It's like, yeah, you're this and it's because you are.
Yeah, you were born this way. Nature versus
Exactly.
nurture.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like no reason.
There's
The reason is because it is, And
Yeah.
how do you argue with that?
There's no kind of like fancy like colored tape around it. It just
Exactly. Yeah,
is
yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you have no choice in the matter. You were born this day. This is who you are. And I feel like so few things in life have that kind of certainty that
Oh no.
I don't know. I think it's
Do you believe in free
astrology
will?
astrology just seems the most fun out of the three.
I agree. I think that's probably why it's also like the most popular of the
Yeah.
three. Like it requires the least like self-reporting. It requires the least level of like thought and introspection to enjoy at a baseline.
Right. I'm curious what the overlap for Enneagram and astrology is though, because like it seems like Enneagram's really tied to like new wave spirituality
It is
and all
definitely a
that
more
kind of stuff.
spiritual like thing. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Myers-Briggs is at least like pretending to be scientific.
yeah, one is like we're full spirituality, one is we're full pretending to be scientific, and one is like we're full pretending to be differently spiritual. Like
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least Myers-Briggs has like a lab coat and goggles on, right?
yeah. Well, Enneagram has a like here's the lab coat and goggles for the people who want something more spiritual. Yeah. No, I definitely get that. Okay, so we all have a different pick. That's so fitting. So fitting for
Mm.
us.
I know we keep doing our call to actions near the end of the episodes, but I'd love to hear from all of you what I'm sure everyone knows what their astrology sign is, probably knows their Myers-Briggs. But I'd love to hear what people's Enneagrams are.
Yeah, maybe take
Personality
the
types are.
maybe take the Enneagram test at eclecticenergies.com if you want
Yeah,
an
get
existential
absolutely
crisis.
bullied by
Yeah.
eclectic energy and let us know
Just
what
get
the results
roasted
are.
on a weekday night.
Yeah,
It's a good
my,
time.
my advice: take the test on eclectic energies and then read the descriptions at the Enneagram Institute. It's a little little nicer, a little more polished, and a little less anxiety inducing. Like they're all trying to sell you stuff, but at least the Enneagram Institute has better graphic design. So,
Yeah, true.
there's that. But
Yeah.
well, this has been the Teva and
This
Friends
has.
podcast.
Mhm.
Episode number
Yeah.
9. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to tease our viewers with before we wrap this up?
Teva now has an OnlyFans, so feel free to subscribe.
Yeah, it's on the down low, but you know, if you're
I don't know.
really
That feels more like type 3 behavior.
yeah, I would not do an OnlyFans. I just went with it because I'm so loyal to Eric.
He's so
Get to a
loyal.
fault. Maybe you should stop.
Oh my god, maybe I need to know when to call it quits and cut it off.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think that'll be it for today.
Let's cut it off. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. Catch you later.
have a good one, guys.
Later.